everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sano-Quinn Media. My name is Sano, and today I'm here to bring you my review of the Songwriter's Planner. So, to give you a little background before we get into the actual review, I've been fascinated by efficiency, productivity, organization for as long as I can remember now. And it really became a dire need for me starting my freshman year of college as I started to have coursework and my musical responsibilities and everything started to stack up. It became too much to handle. And so I did what most people did in sorts of an organization system. I went out and I bought a planner. And so I had this planner and I was working in it and I just wasn't really happy. So I said, well, I'll try a different planner. I went out and I bought another planner. And then I bought another planner. And then I bought another planner. And I could never find a planner I was happy with. So eventually, my senior year of college, I came up with my own solution. I bought a 5-subject notebook. And in this 5-subject notebook, I had everything divided into a to-do list on top so I could see what needed to get done each day, my composition notes, a section for my class notes, everything else, right? My father always told me to take things a day at a time, and so that's how I approached my planning. It's advice that's proven invaluable to me over my life. So, I've been using this system for a while now, and it's worked for me really well. Until recently when I saw a Facebook ad for the Songwriter's Planner. And I decided I would give it a shot. So I went over to their website, I clicked on the ad, and what you find on their website is you can actually find the first 2 weeks of the Songwriter's Planner available as a free PDF download. I said any company that is willing to put themselves out there like that must have a good product. Let's give it a shot. So I downloaded the first 2 weeks and I tried it. And I really, really liked it. So I ended up ordering my own copy of the Songwriter's Planner. And this is my personal one right here. As you can see, it is very nicely bound in a leather-esque material. I don't know for 100% sure it is leather, but it feels really nice. The pages are of a very good quality. They're very nice and thick. The printing is done super well. As you can see, it comes with 2 ribbon kind of bookmarks and this nice elastic strap to keep everything bound together and closed. So, that's kind of the physical characteristics of the book, but the biggest thing with any planner is really getting inside of it. Now, before we go too much further, I do want to state that this video is not sponsored or paid for in any way, shape, form, or fashion. These are all my genuine thoughts having used this planner. And before we filmed this video, I used this planner for over a couple of months now. And this has been my exclusive organization system for that period of time. And truthfully, I am very, very happy. So, let's dig in. So the Songwriter's Planner has a couple of aspects to it. It's got a monthly planning session at the beginning where you can put in your own notes as far as what month it is and the days of the month, things like that. Then it segues into the meat of any planner, which is a breakdown of each day by week, everything. Again, you can fill all of these in yourself, okay? Then it moves on into a lyric book style section where you can have song ideas and write down lyrics. It then moves into a sheet music section where there's just some blank staff paper. And then it goes on to include some free notes, contact information, as well as some piano and guitar chord charts in the back. So for me, honestly, most of this stuff is kind of unnecessary. It very much so is a songwriter's planner in that it is geared towards the songwriter with things such as the lyric sheet. For me, though, I'm much more of an overall musician and a composer than necessarily a singer-songwriter specifically. So while these sections have their uses and can be fun to play around with, they aren't the main draw of this to me. The main draw of this planner to me is how it lays out the actual weekly section. So it starts off by asking you to list down 3 goals that you want to accomplish that week. And for me, and like many others I imagine, the way I do my weekly planning is I have sort of a business meeting with myself where I sit down, I look at everything I have to do in the week and I try to space it all out and I try to create the most efficient and productive week as possible without overloading myself or killing myself. And so the 3 goals thing really helps to put a focus on when I do that. So now I have 3 goals that I know I want to accomplish. And if I don't accomplish anything else, I want to accomplish just those 3, which takes a lot of stress off me and a lot of pressure off of me and lets me know that despite all the busy things going on, I can still have these designated plans. From there, it goes in to where you can actually make notes of your activities per each day. And beside it, there's a little music note indicator that you can fill in, indicating if an activity is musical or not. I find that to be really helpful because it helps me distinguish and achieve a balance between my music life and then my personal life outside of music. Most musicians do have this kind of balancing act. Most creative people in general, I think, do. And so this distinction is super helpful. From there are a couple other things on this page that to me aren't super important. There's a part where you can have a little drawing each week. There's a weekly drawing prompt as well as a weekly question. There's also a weekly lyric prompt, which again is geared very much towards the songwriter. So from there, though, is where this book really starts to kind of hit its flow. You flip the page and there's a free notes section where you can write down notes and things that pop up throughout the week. This is super helpful as far as making sure you make notes of, oh, I forgot, I need to do this next week. This deadline's coming up. These things are happening. And having a space just to jot down those ideas really quickly can be really helpful. This can also be used for creative ideas as well. But then after that is something that I've now started to incorporate into my weekly business meeting, which is an evaluation section. The book asks you to write down 4 things you accomplished this week musically. It asks you things like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are your inspiration levels at this week? And it helps you to start pre-planning the next week by reflecting on the week that you just had. And so for me, that's extremely helpful to keep myself in good spirits, in a good mental, physical, and spiritual health as well. So for that, that's the biggest reason why I would recommend checking out the Songwriter's Planner. It's just about perfect for me in the way that the workflow actually feels. Now again, some of the other stuff I could do without. I don't have to have a weekly drawing prompt. I don't have to have the weekly question. Although the weekly lyric prompt is kind of cool sometimes. It's a fun little creativity test. But again, for me personally as a musician, it's not really necessary. Another thing that it also has a social media prompt each week, which is really cool because as musicians, one of the ways that we communicate with our fans, our audience, the public is through social media. And so that little reminder of like, hey, do something on social media this week, which I personally am awful about, is really helpful sometimes. Okay, now the book isn't perfect. There are a few drawbacks to this. The biggest drawback to the whole thing is at $30, this only comes with 6 months of that awesome material, which means effectively for a year's worth of planner, you have to pay $60. The other thing too is that this is currently volume 1, and as of right now, there's not a volume 2, at least not to my knowledge. So with there not being a volume 2 to this, I'm rebuying this same book, which means the lyric prompts are the same. The drawing prompts are the same. The questions are the same. So if that stuff matters to you, that's a huge drawback past me being able to use this for the first 6 months. But for the first 6 months, this is great. After that first 6 months, you have to ask yourself, is the organizational tools worth paying that price tag for? In my opinion, the answer is yes, because I find the organizational tools in this to be really high quality and really good stuff, and it works for me. I like the little music note distinction that distinguishes between a musical task and a non-musical task, so I can assure that I am achieving that balance. I also like the weekly evaluation stuff, and even though these are questions you could ask yourself, and you could do all of this without the actual book, it's something that, in my opinion, having those prompts asked of you, it just pushes you a little bit in the right direction, if you know what I'm saying. So, with that being said, I do highly recommend the Songwriter's Planner. We'll leave a link down to their website in the description. And like I said, you can check out the first 2 weeks of this for free. It is downloadable in a PDF form. So definitely go check them out. If you like the product, then cool. Let us know down in the comments. What organizational systems do you use? What do you have that you really love, that works really well for you? Let us know down in the comments. Seriously, I'm a big geeky nerd over all of this stuff. I would love to hear some of your thoughts on goals and organizational systems and everything else. And for a further review of this, I've also included a link down to my blog in telesanomusic.com. It's called Notes on Notes, where I discuss a lot of things musical. I also discuss goal setting and different things that pertain to my life. So check us out there too. All right. And as always, don't forget to follow us on social media at Sano-Quinn Media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please, if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, it really does help us out. All right, guys, that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.